Good day. I am May and Sandro, and I'll be discussing the poem by Robert Desnos entitled Fairy Tale. Robert Desnos was a French poet. He was born on July 4, 1900. He is a son of a cafe owner and who also has a poultry business. At first, he worked as a clerk, and then afterwards, he became a literary columnist for newspaper Paris-Soir. In 1917, he first published poems in the Days magazine. In 1922, he first published his book entitled Prose Salavi, a collection of surrealistic aphorisms. He met Breton, Louis Aragon, and Paul Elward, who became his friends. They practiced a technique called automatic writing. This automatic writing, as defined by them, is a writing with their subconscious mind. So they became vanguard of literary surrealism, and their poems are known to be playful, sensual, and serious. In 1926, he met and fell in love with Yvonne George, who is a singer who has a lot of obsessed fans, which made his love impossible, so he just let go Yvonne George. In 1930, 4 years after, he married Yoki Punita, who became his wife. In 1936, his poems became more direct and musical. He wrote poems every day for the entire year. In 1944, he published a series of essays that mocked the Nazis. He became an active member of French Resistance, which is a group of people who write essays against their government, which then led to his arrest. He was transferred to the concentration camp in Czechoslovakia. Then there, in 1945, he had contracted typhoid and he died on June 8, 1945. So, here is the poem. Fairy Tale by Robert Desnos. Many times upon a time, there was a man who loved a woman. Many times upon a time, there was a woman who loved a man. Many times upon a time, there was a woman and there was a man who do not love the ones who loved them. Once upon a time, perhaps only once, there was a man and there was a woman who loved each other. So the poem is a lyric poem. A man, either a man or a woman, could be a speaker of the poem. And most probably the author himself could be. The structure of the poem is composed of 2 stanzas, 1 long stanza with 7 lines and 1 short stanza with 3 lines. So it's at first it is hard to interpret because it is a short poem. We know that when it is a short poem, it has more emotions, and so the imagery was the image of a fairy tale was used here as a basis of presenting the love story in reality. That's why the figure of speech anaphora was used, which is the repetition of phrases in the beginning of the lines, which is many times upon a time. Many was used 3 times in the poem to emphasize that, unlike in fairy tales, the usual and actual setting of the reality is an unpredictable love story of a man and a woman, which may or may not be happily ever after. So, at first, it is like that. It has nothing. It doesn't have something further to discuss because it is just this. But upon reading a lot of times the poem, there's come the epiphany, the realization of truth that no, it is a common setting that there was a man, there was a woman who loved a man and a woman. But there is a truth that it's right that the image of a fairy tale would always be a fairy tale, unlike in reality. So here, that's why also the use of once in the poem is also to emphasize that a love story like a fairy tale, it's just maybe once, or as rare as it is. And moreover, perhaps the word perhaps was used by the author in the second stanza to show that the speaker was not even sure if that happily ever after love story exists even once. So in this poem, probably Desnos has doubts in this, if there is really an eternal love insisting. So he probably wrote this for himself because when he was in prison, he kept on writing a letter for his wife Yuki Kohita. But Yuki did not even write back. So maybe he wrote this poem because he is very frustrated that even his wife doesn't love him anymore. So probably he doesn't believe that there is a kind of a happily ever after love story. So that's it. Thank you.